It's the Grand Circle Podcast with your host, Samuel Galubak and Inessa Strelnikova. It's your intimate look into the lives of world champion dancers. And now, here's Samuel and Inessa.
And welcome back to the Grand Circle Podcast with Samuel Galubak and Inessa Strelnikova. I'm your guest, Mark Brock.
And we are your hosts, Sam and Inessa.
Welcome. And so we decided to switch roles because we have the most famous Mark Brock.
Wow.
Here
Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
And let's introduce you to the audience. So Mark is the organizer of the Columbus Ballroom Classic and Michigan Dance Challenge.
Yes.
He is also runner-up and rising star in American Rhythm in the U.S. Nationals.
Smooth.
Sorry,
yes, that's okay.
My apologies. American Smooth. He's a World Pro-Am Mambo champion. And some little fun facts about Mark. He is a pro football player, which we're going to talk about that later. He's also a pro hockey player. He's an actor. He coached ice dance with very famous ice dancers.
Famous Canadian team.
Scott
Moyer and Tessa Virtue.
And Aaron
Lowe and Megan Wing.
There you go.
So basically he's the man of many things. But which side should we start from?
I want to get into the pro football. I find that the most fascinating.
Well, it's funny. Everybody asks me, how did you get into dancing? And it's a little bit of a story, but all I ever wanted to do my whole life was play professional football. I started in 6th grade playing football.
So very early.
Yes. Played in high school, then college, and I didn't get drafted, so I signed with a minor league team in Michigan. And then I got noticed after that first season, and the Chicago Fire of the World Football League signed me. And then after I got released by Chicago, I came back to Detroit, and my girlfriend at the time said, my best friend's dad is a manager at Arthur Murray's studio in Detroit, and she told me they're going to have a training class, and I know you love to dance. I know you love to freestyle at clubs, so you should just go do it, and I was a little depressed after getting released, and I thought, okay, what the heck, I'll just try it out. So I went for the interview, and I told the owner of this franchisee of the studio, look, I just signed with a minor league club after getting released by Chicago, and if I get a call, if my agent says, hey, you got to try out wherever, I'm going to go. And he goes, I understand, I love football, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, and this is after having a short stint with the Hamilton Ticats here in Canada. So did the training class, started to open up a new studio, continued playing minor league football with 3 different teams in the Midwest. I was coaching high school football on top of that and teaching at Arthur Murray's.
So you're everywhere.
I was everywhere.
You were doing everything.
The thing is that after a while, the handwriting's on the wall. And after 6 years of trying to make it, I thought, okay, I'm going to make dancing my new sport. And that's exactly what I did.
By opening the studio? And
No, I was just a teacher at the time.
Just teaching?
And then I became a manager, and I was offered the franchise, to buy the franchise, which I did. So I was a franchisee for 14 years before I went out on my own.
That's very interesting.
So, yeah, it was tough. Your dream is to do this, and then it doesn't work out, and then you go. It's really funny because people still ask me today, what would you rather be doing, dancing or playing football? And I said, well, no doubt, playing football. I mean, too old now, but I'm just saying, what path would you have chosen?
Your passion is still football.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite team in football?
Detroit Lions, even though they suck. I'm loyal. I live in Columbus, Ohio now, but I'm from Detroit, and I'll always support Detroit and everything about it. So all the teams, the city, everything.
How about hockey? Columbus Blue Jackets?
Yeah, they're okay, but I'll be a Red Wings guy forever.
So you're all in Detroit.
I tried playing 2 sports in college, football and hockey. And after a year, I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to graduate if I do these 2 sports. So I just stuck with football.
And then, so that's new discovery for me about football. And what about hockey? You have a connection to hockey, and
Well, no, I played it for a little bit, and then I started, when I was concentrating on football and dancing, I joined an over 40 league in the Detroit metro area and played for 20 years in hockey. So.
And how do you know Toronto very well? Like when you come to Toronto, every time you say, "Oh, I know where that is."
Yeah, I've been coming here since I was 13 years old, and in fact, my first trip to Toronto is hockey school. Hockey school.
Does that mean we have the best hockey?
Well, for sure. No, I'll admit that. I mean, I was a huge Montreal Canadian fan, but growing up in Detroit, we used to get CBC all the time. And this is before they were showing any hockey games on any other channel. Mm-hmm. So my dad and I would sit there and watch Hockey Night in Canada every Saturday night at home when I was growing up. And I became a huge fan of Montreal Canadiens, actually, and not the Toronto Maple Leafs. But and then I started coming to Toronto a lot. I wanted to try out for the Toronto Argonauts, and I had letters actually from every club in Canada. But they were like, they used at those times, I don't know if it still is, but they used to have a quota of American players. You could only have like 4 or something, 6. I can't remember what it was now, but. So if you weren't like really well known, you didn't even have a chance at it, even though I got signed by the Ticats, which was kind of cool. But, I've been kind of coming to Toronto ever since. I always thought it was the New York of Canada, only cleaner. Only cleaner.
And much smaller.
Yeah.
Not anymore, it seems like.
Yes, and very, very similar. What about acting, Mark? So we mentioned acting.
Yeah, I've always loved movies, right? And then I went into an acting class. And at this time, I was in my 40s. And I was the oldest person in class. Everybody was like 20, 21.
Just starting their career.
Yeah, they want, I want to be an actor, And I thought, well, there's got to be a room for middle-aged or older actors, so that's what I wanted to do. So I was still dancing, too. And did an independent movie where I play, if I can say it, it's okay, I play a pimp. It wasn't a dance, because everybody asks me, oh, you were in a dance movie. You're a dancer. No. Actually, I wanted to be a serious actor. I didn't want to do a dance film, so... I did that, and it was great. I went to New York for a while.
No Oscars? No?
No. But everybody loved seeing me get killed at the end. It was, I don't know, all my students and friends, they're like, oh, you got killed at the end. That's so cool. So I went to New York for a little bit, took some classes there, too, and then, but you have to either live in New York or L.A. if you're going to really go for it. So I still have a passion to want to do it, but I'm so tied up in the dance world.
MCing, organizing,
judging, coaching, whatever. So
everything.
Speaking of coaching, can you talk about more of how you coach ice dancers?
Well, this is this is an interesting story too. I seem to have a lot of interesting stories. So I'm coaching in Detroit at a roller rink because the coach of these roller skating teams, Samba was going to be introduced in the World Championships in roller skating. So she had heard about me. I came to the roller rink, and I'm coaching these couples on what they could do in Samba on roller skates. Now, I don't like roller skates, but I had my my wheels, what do I call them? I'm drawing a
the
blank.
wheels?
Rollerblades?
Rollerblades. Duh. So, I'm doing it on my rollerblades. I'm trying out Samba stuff. And then there's a Russian coach there one day, and we got to meet each other. His name was Igor Spielban. And he says, Mark, would you consider coming in Detroit Skating Club and working with some of my couples? And I was like, yeah, sure. So at the time, they had the U.S. ice dance champions. And so ice dancing was like always looked at as the stepchild of all the other types of, pairs, singles, and so on.
Couples sports.
Yeah, in skating. And then we started to develop a great relationship, so I would go there all the time and work on trying to make the skaters look like ballroom dancers. on skates. Well, that's what they told me. Even Marina Zueva, who's like one of the most famous ice dance coaches in the world, said, make them look like ballroom dancers. Do whatever you have to do. So we got this great relationship, and then they moved over to a different rink in Detroit, and Scott and Tessa, who are Olympic silver and gold medalists here in Canada, I think they were like maybe 12 or 14 years old when I first started working with them. And same thing with Charlie White and Merrill, who are also Olympic gold, but from the U.S. They all trained at the same rink in Detroit. It was unbelievable. We had the best ice dancing in the world at that time. In fact, Ben Augusto and Tanith Belbin were the first U.S. couple ever to win an Olympic medal in ice dancing. They did it in Italy. They won the silver medal. And it was just so much fun working with these kids and trying to teach them Cuban motion on skates and how to hold themselves like real ballroom dancers instead of skaters. And
That's interesting.
But it's true that in figure skating, they, even though the dances may be named the same, like tango or waltz or paso doble,
Yeah.
they have different tempos. They have their own
Oh,
strict
for
tempos.
sure.
So then, how did you manage to? Were you choreographing for them, or just helping to understand?
I would choreograph. This is what I would do. I'd go to the rink, and I might have couples all day long. And it wasn't just the top couples. There were couples that were coming up on the rise, younger couples, etc. And I'd go in, and they'd go, Mark, choreograph an opening for this number.
That's it? That's all they told you?
Okay, choreograph the stop between the fast part and the slow part. Okay, choreograph an ending. And other times is watch them skate and see if there's something they could do while they're skating. So I never worked on the skating aspect, but we would, again, like the roller skating, we would experiment with different moves that we could do with skates on. So at first they let me wear my hockey skates and I'd be out there with them, and then pretty soon there's a liability thing with insurance, so I'm in my tennis shoes on the ice with them doing stuff. And also the which I believe in ballroom dancing too, which I'm really huge on coaching, and that is the story you tell when you're skating or dancing. Is it just dancing, or do you show some emotion? Can I watch you and read the story you're telling me while you're skating or dancing? So I was really big on that as well. But again, it was just keeping their frame up during the smooth dances, because ice skaters, I found everything that was behind them they didn't even think about. You know, they'd have their arms out, and because this arm was behind, it would just like this. And I said, no, you got to go from fingertip to fingertip. You know, you can't. It's not just about what's in front of you, because that's what skaters think about a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Because they're moving that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're moving that way most of the time, right? So arm styling, just all kinds of stuff, you know. Whatever could make them better.
Speaking about styling, you're always very, very stylishly dressed. So where's that coming from? Like, did you get some education just like with acting, or it's just a
No.
natural thing?
I've been, I'm a straight guy who loves clothes. What can I say? I've been trying to wear cool clothes since I was in grade school.
I like how your shoes or socks often match the tie, or
Yeah, I don't know.
the shirt.
I love clothes. I love.
What's your favorite brand of clothes?
Brand?
Yeah, where do
I
you
don't
get your
have.
clothes?
No, everywhere, anywhere.
Anywhere?
So you buy what you
Yes.
like, what your eyes like.
I can outshop most women. I can tell you that.
Price-wise or clothing, like number of clothes you have?
Time it takes to shop. Because I'm not one of those shoppers who stays in the store for an hour. I look, I buy, I'm out. But I'll go to
You'll check.
yeah,
quite
like when I go to New York, I just, I plan out. The first day is scouting of clothes. What do I like? What don't I like?
And then the second
day
you buy.
I come back and I buy what I want.
Do you hide the clothes you like around the store?
I try to put them in a way that nobody else will see them. Yeah, I do actually.
Behind something, hang it up high? Or
I actually do.
Yeah.
So-
So how was shopping in Toronto?
Oh, it's great. Funny enough, back in the day, this is before you were probably even born, when
You always get that one.
platform shoes were stylish. the big platform, like
For everyone, male
Men and
fe-
women.
Yeah, men and women. Yeah.
There was a place called Leather John or something on Young Street. I bought a pair of rattlesnake platform boots that went up to my knee and took them back to Detroit. They were awesome.
Platform boots.
Platform rattlesnake boots that went up to my knee.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Do you still have
You were
them?
like the only
No,
one.
I
in
don't have that.
Mich-
I don't have that. But you got to remember, this is the time when nightclubs, Saturday Night Fever started, and
Right.
oh god, that was an amazing time.
Speaking of nightclubs and that kind of style,
Yeah.
you as the organizer of Michigan Dance Challenge,
Mm-hmm.
I know I've seen photos on Facebook. I think many people have seen photos on Facebook of the club night and
Yeah.
the things you do there on that first night, and people are dressed crazy funky on that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that
Well,
competition that day and just
sure.
what happens at
Um,
Michigan Dance Challenge?
Michigan Dance Challenge has grown to the point where, like, this coming year, we're going to have 4.5 days. So it's
Wow.
gotten pretty big, which is awesome. Started out small, just like a lot of comps, and I've built it up. But I wanted to start out the week by having a lot of fun. So I came up with this idea for nightclub night. And then I started thinking, well, let's make it a theme of some kind every year. And, eventually you repeat a theme, but so what? I just want people to have fun. It's a great way to start out the week, relaxing, and, not get so serious about all the dancing. So it's just, I love doing that. The judges dress up. It seems like everybody dresses up, which is really cool. And just make a good time of it. Big, mirror ball, crystal trophy at the end for just like Dancing with the Stars and for the championship couples. And it's just a lot of fun. And that's what I like at my comp. I like everybody. I want great dancing, but I want everybody to go away going, boy, I really enjoyed being there. It was just like fun place to be. I don't want to say a family atmosphere, but just a friendly atmosphere all the time.
Right. Yeah. So we noticed, and then tell us more about this new thing that new fun thing that we see all over the social media about the wine spiral.
Okay, I'm no.
That video
Okay.
that he did.
Mark is known. Here's the history. I witnessed that. He's actually was able to do a nice, very neat spiral, holding a big glass of wine without spilling anything. And then, what did you? You challenge other people to do
Well,
this?
I don't know. Jonathan Roberts and I started this whole thing. We're both kind of wine snobs. Well, I'm more of a snob than he is, because at most comps I bring my own wine and bring my own glass.
Yes.
That's kind of what I do. So all of a sudden we start doing these wine spiral things, and we were in New York at a comp. Polina Mayer and myself, Sergei Semchinsky, and Yana Zhivkov. Mm-hmm. We all challenged each other to a wine spiral contest. So it's kind of taken on a life of its own. So all of a sudden I thought, let's have a wine spiral contest at my competition. Everybody's invited. We'll call it the first annual North American Wine Spiral Championship.
And you made a competition out of
Which
it.
night is that happening?
That'll be on Saturday night during the party. Jonathan and I will judge it.
Is it going to be a big wine glass trophy?
Well, we're going to give whoever wins, we'll give them a fantastic bottle of wine for sure.
Just the two of you judging? What if you disagree? What happens then?
No, we won't. It's my competition, so I'll have the
Whatever.
final. I'll have the final say, I think. But we're thinking of actually doing doubles and singles competition.
Wow. So it's
Doubles
very
and
creative.
singles?
Yeah, doubles like pairs and skating. It has to be perfect. in
Very
sync.
creative.
Like synchronized.
I had a woman come up to me, a woman student in Cleveland in September, come up to me and go, Mark, I'm coming to your comp because of the wine spiral contest. I said, okay, whatever it takes.
Yes, whatever.
Just
it
you got to
takes.
be there Saturday. You got to stick around till Saturday night because that's when we're doing the competition. So.
And you're coming up on a big anniversary this
Oh,
upcoming
yeah.
competition.
20th.
20th.
It's
huge.
it's really funny because it's really, when you start out a competition, you don't know how it's going to go, but you think, well, how hard can this be? You know people, and people go to comps all the time, but you really have to work on it. So I'm very proud of the fact I've gotten this far. I had people tell me 10 years ago, oh, you should move it out of Detroit, and you should do this, and you should do that. And I was like, no, I'm going to
That's your
stick with it, or I'm going to sink. One of the two. But I'm not moving. I'm not giving up. And so it's
A good thing you didn't give up.
No.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't give up
But
because
you got to stick with it. I mean, even, in the first few years, you might lose money, and then, everybody wants to make money.
Success will come after, right?
Yeah,
Very
you
You just have to.
It's like most things, it's really funny because being in sports all my life, you always get this attitude of never giving up, and you come from a team perspective rather than an I perspective. So, and I find this funny when you're coaching, and you see couples arguing, and it's like, really, guys? Really? Is it important who's right or who's wrong? Can't we just fix this and move on? I mean, and I always use the example when I was playing football or hockey, especially football. If I was open, the quarterback didn't throw me a ball, I didn't come back to the huddle and start yelling at him. I mean, you just don't do that because you're part of a team.
right.
It's like that saying, "There's no I in team."
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, and so you always get this kind of stick with it. You're gonna fight till the end, all that stuff, and that's just been part of how I think my whole life.
So you judge at competitions, right?
Mhm.
We we get questions from pro-am dancers and other dancers. They
Yeah.
want to know what a judge is looking for when they're dancing on the dance floor. So what do
Okay.
you look for?
Well, let me tell you what I've done in terms of teaching, and I'm not trying to beat my chest or anything, but I won top teacher at Ohio Starball 14 years, 11 years in a row. No one's even come close to that. And it was because I always had this philosophy of teaching my students knowing what judges look for. Now, not every judge is the same, okay? But if you can do a good basic and work off of that basic, you're going to do well. I mean, my first lesson in teaching anybody, and they want to do rhythm, was teaching them Cuban motion. I didn't teach any steps because I wanted to learn how to control their bodies before they even went anywhere. So it was important to me that everything was about quality, not quantity. So I'd go to comps and bronze and do like 3 or 4 patterns at the most, but they were going to be the best 3 or 4 patterns on the floor. You see what I mean?
So as a
So
judge, you look for that
I'm
simplicity and the basic.
I look to see how someone gets in a dance position.
He looks for quality, right, Mark?
Yeah, if I see someone go into dance position in smooth or ballroom, and they're not even in the right position, is it all of a sudden are they going to become world champions halfway through the dance? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So you can always tell who's been trained right from the get-go. Their first step, you can see what kind of training they've had, and it's really funny because I look for basic actions in every dance first, and if you can impress me with that, you're already on the plus list. So.
I want to ask the favorite question at the end because we're getting to that point eventually. Where do you like to go, Mark, for vacations? Your favorite cities, countries? I do know the answer, but I want the audience to hear.
Toronto, of course.
Well, of course. Hello, that goes without saying. Right? No, it's really funny because I've been working all my life, 14 years before I took an actual vacation. And I'm at that point in my life where I just want to experience more about life. So I've been doing a lot of hiking, sometimes on my own to my detriment. Like I climbed Mount Fuji in September.
Wow.
Got lost on the way down. So that was a little harrowing, but I've been doing a lot of parks and canyons and different things. So I'm trying to go to different countries. New York's my favorite, probably city. New York, Paris, and Tokyo.
New York, Paris, and Tokyo.
Those are my 3, and Napa Valley.
Of course.
Napa,
wine.
wine, food. You can't beat Napa. Yeah,
I always see you with a glass of red. Do you ever drink white wine?
It's funny. I used to drink white exclusively, and then had a student of mine whose husband was a total wine snob, and he turned me into a red wine snob.
He converted
So I've been
you.
drinking. He converted me like big time, right? But I still like white wine. White Burgundies from France. Oh, they're unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I love that wine, and Meursaults as well. But I'm mostly a red guy.
Yeah. So we know. Well, let's go back to the Michigan dance sport because
Sure.
that's the competition coming up soon and a big anniversary. Let's remind about the dates. So
We're going to be March 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th.
And it keeps going and going every single.
Yeah, well, you're always trying to find new things to do. Like we're offering 15 gentlemen-only scholarships. That's got to be
Wow.
one of the highest in the country, I think.
Yeah.
We have 74, 75 total scholarships this
You
year.
have, I think last year or this year, you're looking at 8,000 entries.
Yeah, we had over 8,000, and I don't know what everybody's telling me. I've got people who've never been there before who said they're coming. In fact, I got entries in October.
This October.
March 2
coming up.
months ago for the March coming up. I even got ticket sales already.
People are really excited to be there.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a good year, and I'm excited about not just the pro-am events, but the professional events as well. A lot of times, you don't get a lot of international in the Midwest comps, except Ohio, of course, Ohio Star Ball. But I don't know, we seem to get good pro entries in those two styles. I mean, it's not like New York or LA and.
You get a lot of Canadian support at your.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because outside of Ohio Star Ball, I think we have the most Canadians that come to
Canadian
a
support
competition in the
That's
States.
amateurs, pros, and pro-am.
Everybody.
Yeah, unbelievable. The support. I always consider myself half Canadian anyway, but because I've been here so much through my life, used to compete at Can-Am every year when I was a teacher.
Yeah.
Classique. I mean, I've done just about everything in Toronto comp-wise until I retired, but we get such amazing support from the Canadians. It's great.
And I'm sure this year it will be as well supported as previously by Canadians
hope
and
so.
everybody else.
I hope so. Yeah.
Maybe international, maybe some international couples this year too.
Yes. Well, our ballroom day, our international ballroom day is pretty good size. Our American Smooth is the biggest comp
Yes.
that we have. I mean, it's huge, but it's huge everywhere right now.
Yeah.
But
It's getting more and more popular.
I think the Latin, if I may say, the Latin is probably the smallest we have. So I'm trying to grow that. But typically, the only time you see really huge Latin is in like New York or the West Coast, in California.
Yeah.
So, but that's all right. I mean, we're growing. We're getting there on that part of it.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Good luck to it. And then,
Thank
of course, for the spectators, don't forget the dates. It's
24th through the 28th. We
Through the
start on a
28th.
Tuesday night and finish on Saturday night.
on a Tuesday night.
Start on Tuesday night
On the
this
Tuesday
year.
night. This is
Yes.
new, and that's a club night.
That's club night.
And
yeah.
the wine spiral happens on a
Saturday
Saturday.
night. Yes.
Okay.
And the website to get all the information.
www.michigandancechallenge.com.
So-
And for anybody out there who's going, please book your rooms. Please book your rooms.
They book quickly,
You
right?
can always cancel rooms. Now, I'm just, I'm not trying to be funny here, but last year, the week of the comp, that Saturday, I believe, right before the comp started on Wednesday, I got requests from Canadian dancers for 10 rooms. I'm like,
Canadians are the last ones all the time.
and I'm panicking. I'm talking to my hotel people. I need 10 rooms. And I'm like, Mark, don't stress out. Relax. It'll be okay. Yeah, but you're sold out. Yeah, but we'll see. You never know what happens.
I'll
so
kick some
Yeah.
people out.
So to
So,
our Canadian attendees, yeah.
Monday, Tuesday rolls around. Oh, we have the rooms.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
so that's why I always plead. We, as organizers, you know this too, Nessa, that
Yeah.
book the hotel room. You can always cancel it, but it's harder to get it if you wait too long.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Especially
so
for such a big competition.
Yeah, so
It is.
we have a link. We've had a link up for a couple months now for booking your hotel rooms, get a special discount rate, and so on and so forth. So I hope people take advantage of that this year.
Yes, they should, and they should. And so we're reminding them again. Book your room in advance and be
Yes.
there on March 24th
right.
through 28th.
Michigan Dance Challenge.
Michigan Challenge. And this was Mark Brock here with us at Grand
The
Circle
most
Podcast.
interesting man in the dance industry.
You should do that commercial, right?
Multi-talented
The most
man.
interesting man in the world.
Thank you, Mark, for joining us.
My
Thank
pleasure.
You, Mark,
It was
for
fun.
your
Thank
time.
you.
It
Thank
was
you.
fun. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.